Alright guys, this is where I'm starting off my overnighter. I'm just on a local trail here to get myself out into a bit of woods, and then I'm gonna veer off and do some bushwhacking for about an hour or so, and try to find a spot that's inconspicuous and private. Hopefully no one will be around, and yeah, show you some things. It rained yesterday, so things are kind of damp, but it's quite nice today, so getting a fire going will be pretty easy. I'll do a 360. I'm Dave, and this is going to be my first video, taking guys out to the woods and just showing you what I kind of do out here. And I keep it really simple, and it's fun. I enjoy it. And I mostly do it just to relax. So yeah, it should be a good one. I think I'm going to end up heading up in that direction. I know there's a bit of a hill, so I'll probably trek up and try to find some flat ground up there and get away from this path and any people that may or may not be around. I'm starting to make my way up this mountain hill. Sorry, it's not really a mountain. I'm filming this with my cell phone, so I'm gonna do the best I can. Ooh, a little froggy right here. You can see him jumping over there. There's quite a few around since it rained, and yeah, they're kind of cool. I'm not gonna even think about eating them or anything like that. I'm not out here to do that, so yeah, I'm just gonna try to make my way up there and find some decent ground. It's very I mean, this is not a place I'd want to stay. I can kind of hear some people over there, so I got to go in deep and yeah, continue doing this. So while walking up this hill, I found some stinging nettle, and I ran into some without knowing it right over here when I was trekking through all of this these ferns and stuff. I just dragged some right across my body, and like, they're big. I mean, some of them are as tall as me. So I'm going to while I'm here, I'm going to collect some of this and boil it up and eat it for later. And I don't know, you kind of just like grab it gingerly with your hand and then take your knife and just flick them off, and or you can just flick it off like that and pick them up, and just be very careful because they do sting, and it's quite easy to sting yourself, as I have already done. So the younger ones are better, and you want to take the top leaves instead of taking the bottom, and you got to boil them quite a bit so they don't sting you and like totally scratch your throat up and stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I still hear people in the background. It's kind of annoying, but I just gotta keep pressing further, and I thought I'd show you guys this while I collect a little bit of it. But yeah, I thought I'd just show you kind of that area. And over here, there's a bunch of low-lying greenery, and you got stinging nettle and all sorts of stuff in there, so I can collect that for food and try to avoid walking through it, because I already got myself pretty good when I was walking through that crap. So it doesn't really hurt. It just swells up pretty bad. So the joys of bushwhacking. All right, I'm going to continue on and make some more ground. It's kind of the view down there. It's quite nice. Do have some plane noise, but there's planes everywhere nowadays. Okay. better to use the two hands and kind of just pry it. And just work your way. Wow, that's a big bee. It scared me. Work your way down. You know, eventually it will kind of come off. Come off like a plate. Like that. Alright, here we go. I found like a million of the funguses I wanted to talk to you about. I just snapped that log that was sitting on this is I'm not sure if the other one was chaga fungus. I'm not great at identifying this stuff, but I think this is chaga. It's very damp in the middle because it did rain. You can kind of see, but I mean there's a lot of them on here. Nope, but you can see it's damp. But when this stuff is dry, it embers well, and they tend to like birch trees. And there's quite a bit of birch that's fallen down here. So I don't think I'm gonna try that stuff for my fire. It's a little harder because it's damp too. When those things are damp, you're gonna struggle to get an ember. But yeah, you know, that's just the way it is with that stuff. So I'm starting to find better ground. I think I saw a little frog in here. There he is. If I can zoom in on this. Look at that. Cell phone. That's a pretty cool one. It's one of the bigger ones I've seen. I don't know if he's edible or not, but I'm not eating him. I don't feel like gutting the frog. I'm just gonna have some spruce needle tea and eat some of the stinging nettle that raped my arm. There's that birch tree back over there where I got the fungus, so I might rip off some, make a camp around here somewhere, and get going on building a little bit, of the camp and the fire, collecting some wood. See what cool stuff I can do. There are some mosquitoes around, so having some smoke will help with that. But I'm not making a big fire. Should probably move my hand and put it on the other side. And it's quite calm. Still hearing airplanes, but it's a nice day out here. Besides mosquitoes and stinging nettle. Alright, so after doing a little bit of walking, I found this patch right here. And it's got a little cedar tree there, and this there's not much foliage, or like ferns or anything like that, or stinging nettle in this area. It's totally just like a solid area for you to make a camp. And the cedar here, I might be able to use it for my ridge line and make something kind of basic and just up against. I'll probably have to put it more up against the tree and have that as like, it'll be like that. And then the tarp will kind of, maybe I'll do a diamond or something on either side of those branches, and I'll clear away some of this stuff to make it a little bit more of a manageable space. And I do want to be incognito here, and so I'll probably build some thermal walls, but I don't need it for heat. It's more just so people can't see a flame. And kind of if you're trying to hide from people, you know. But I have a blue tarp, so that's probably pretty terrible to hide from people. I'm ordering a camel one, but it's in the mail, so That's all I gotta say about that. Make do with what you got. But it's a nice little spot. It's kind of a cool little area. And then you got more over there. I see stinging nettle galore. Ones are, I gotta show you how tall these ones are. It's ridiculous. That one right there. There's some right down here that have bent over and stuff. But that one right there has got to be like almost 6 foot. So that one can get you in the neck. So it's a little harder to navigate some of these areas, but especially when you're in shorts and stuff. Here's some of the birds chirping. It's a nice day. It'll be a little nicer than the time I came out here previously, where it was wet, quite wet. I had to get the tarp up right away. It's the first thing I did. But it's not necessary today. I mean, I probably don't even need one, but I'll put it up just to show you guys. So yeah, I'm gonna get working on that stuff. For any of you guys doubting the Fisker axe that I brought, it is pretty decent, and I do suggest it, especially if you are new to camping. Even for a general camping person, like, you're not gonna want to go out and buy like a Grand Forest Brooks and like spend like whatever ridiculous amount you are on those axes. I know it's not a wooden handle, and like, oh, you know, if your handle breaks out here, like, you got to make a new one and all that stuff, right? And okay, that's one fallback, but this thing's built pretty much like a brick. It would be pretty hard to break, and I get it if you are out for like more than a month or something. Like, you want to bring a wooden handle axe. It makes sense. But for the average Joe like me, who, like, you know, I might come out here and do a week at tops, I don't need to spend like a couple $100, you know, on a small little axe, when this Fisker does just as good a job. I think you might be able to get a Husqvarna axe that's similar to this with a wooden handle that might be the same sort of quality. I think those are made in the US. Don't quote me on that, but you don't want to be buying stuff that's made in China. That's my number one thing. That stuff just isn't, it's not good. I do have a SOG knife that's from China, and the metal is just, the quality of it is just, it's not good. And that was before I did any research. I was kind of a noob and just went out and bought a knife that looked cool. And then I was like, okay, screw this. I'm going to do a bit of research. So that's why I picked up this guy and the Mora. And it's so budget. I mean, it's so cheap for that stuff. Some people spend the amount of money I did, you know, on like a pen knife or something. So I'll try to show you without trying to hurt myself. I'm one-handing this, so bear with me. This is not recommended, but okay. So, you know, it's a pretty dang good little hatchet, and I was doing that with the cell phone in one hand. So I highly suggest it. Especially if you're like me and you don't have a ton of money, but you want to do this stuff. Don't spend your time watching hours of YouTube videos on all these amazing axes if you can't afford them. Get something that's very basic and does the job just as good. You want an axe that can cut. If you want to do some spoon carving, you probably could do it with it, but you know, that's later down the line for me, because I just, you know, I don't have the money to do that. And I don't think a lot of you do have the money to do that, or want to even spend the money to do that. So, same with all other gear, all the clothing. I mean, you could spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on stuff. And, you know, what I'm doing here, you know, it might not be Rainier style, but I bet you I could outrun that guy from a bear. So who's better at survival? I don't know. This is fun. I like doing this stuff, and um, you don't need all these gadgets. And a lot of the channels you see, it'll just be thousands of dollars when you add up all the gear that they have. And the whole point of this is to show you that you don't need to, and don't have to, and you could literally spend your life not doing that and just going with simple things. I mean, if that breaks, I'll just buy another one, you know? So I'll be out $60, but it's gonna last me a while. This thing's pretty tanky. It's pretty good. So, I mean, hit the handle. Are you gonna really break that handle? That's literally, I don't know. I'm not gonna be doing much more like heavier stuff than that. So, yeah, a bit of field testing for you guys. Okay, so I set up my tarp. It's definitely not, I don't recommend this for any sort of serious weather, but I mean, it's summertime, it's not supposed to rain. I'm out here one night, it doesn't really matter. I don't know, I don't even need to set up a tarp, but anyways, I kind of just rigged it. I rigged it how I could. Yeah, I cleaned out the ground down there. I mean, this is gonna be cozy. I think it's a nice little area. These cedars are, you know, they give a little bit of shelter up there too. One thing to check before you set up your things, you have to look above you. If you see any crazy dead trees or limbs or anything like that up there, don't camp underneath it because it can kill you. If there's any sort of wind or rain or whatever, it could cause that thing to fall on you that very specific moment. And yeah, something to keep in mind when you're setting up a camp. I got this massive tree here. I'm not the greatest at identifying trees. I probably will get better, but it's split off into a V, and it's super cool. It's alive though, and it looks like a tank. So yeah, this is kind of my setup. If it did rain, the rainwater would just slide down here and come off, and it'd probably pool in there a bit, but that's okay. All that stinging nettle is, that is ridiculous. I mean, I actually have to tilt upwards. It's taller than me to show its top. So anyways, I'm gonna get together, build some a wall or two, maybe find a log, something to work on, and gather some fire supplies. And I might try to get the fire going quicker so I can get some embers, not to keep it going, but yeah, just to have that, and then work around that so I can get boiling and cooking some stuff. All right, I'll check in a bit. Just a tip for you guys, when you're setting up a camp out here, you can make little trails to different places that, say if you need a water source, get to your water source, get to food supply, get to different areas and stuff. You can kind of just take your axe and just clip off some branches as you go. And I kind of just made a little path out this way. And this is where I've been doing most of my chopping. I'm not going to bother to bring the log into my camp anymore. Let me just get my axe out. Show you. It's solid enough, right? And it really helps when you're processing wood and stuff to have something solid. Whereas this guy over here, I mean, it's just totally rotten. And I guess if you chop into it, you know, you might get into some solid wood at the bottom, but that one's good to go. And I'll show you the other trail that I kind of made it up through here. So I've totally redesigned and changed my strategy for the wall that I'm going to build. Originally I was going to do the thermal wall, kind of where you got a stake and a stake, and then you just kind of lie a bunch of logs and you just build it up, and you have 2 stakes on one side, 2 stakes on the other side, and you kind of cord it off at the top. But it wasn't really working for me, and like these smaller pieces, these thinner pieces are going into the ground a lot easier, and I don't really need to make a super sturdy, beefy wall, so I figured that I'm just going to weave one and use some thinner material, and I'm going to weave into it a bunch of this fern that I've started collecting. So it should look pretty cool, actually. And yeah, so I'm working on that, and after I get that done, I'll probably start getting a fire. Alright guys, so this is what I came up with after a little bit more foraging and stuff. I was at the beginning weaving a bunch of stuff, and then towards the end I just started piling some things on because I was lazy. But it turned out pretty good. I mean, it does when you come on the inside here, it does a decent job of blocking out nosy people. Not that I've seen anyone. But and it also just feels comfy. I mean, being in this compared to being in just a tarp or something like this, is just, it feels homey, and I don't know, you feel a little safer when you build something like this. Just something for you guys to think about. It's not necessary. Obviously this will help a little bit too for some insulation for heat and stuff, but I probably won't get cold. I have a sweatshirt that I brought, that's about it. I found this really cool rock, and it's thin, so I might try to use that as some sort of rock stove where sorry, mosquitoes on me. Or I find another rock, balance it, put coals underneath, and maybe try to warm it up and put my pot on top of it. I've never tried doing something like that. This might be thin enough for it to work. It might take forever to do that, but that's why I'm getting the fire going now. And I'll get the pot on like as quick as I can. But yeah, that'll be kind of cool to try. When you come out here, sometimes you just try things, and if they don't work, they don't work. If they do work, it's sweet, and you learn from that. And you learn from things not working too. Kind of like how I had to ditch these guys for the wall that I was making. I decided to go with thin things. And basically now I'm starting to construct my fire. I got a platform here, and what I'll do is get a piece of wood for an oxygen triangle, and I got some wood here. I'm going to process it up smaller bits, and I'm going to use birch bark, and I'll probably make a couple feather sticks. And yeah, so I'm going to go scavenge the forest a little bit for some stuff too. So I'll check in when I have those things done. Alright, to try to show you guys what I'm actually doing here. I've prepared some birch bark that I found, and in the previous video I showed you guys that I had birch bark in this kit here, but I'm not going to use it. If I have to, I will. But I think I should be able to do it this way, and I don't know, the mosquitoes are bothering me right now, so I'm not making a feather stick or any of that deal. I'm just gonna hope for the best with this thing. I made a little dust pile by taking a piece of birch and then just scraping away at it with my knife. So that's what I'm hoping to ignite. Okay, round 2. Lift up the oxygen triangle a little bit, and you can see how much that helps sometimes. I'm hoping that's it. Try to get some of these bigger guys going. Oh, so there you go. It worked, and hopefully this will keep the mosquitoes away for now. So guys, this is how my camp looks from here. You can see that the fire itself is quite hidden by that wall that I made. So kind of just bring you up, and I mean, if someone walks right by right by your camp, like obviously they're gonna know that you're there, right? But from a distance, you don't see too much. You might hear some flames crackling, and it's only when you get really close that you can even tell that there is a fire there. And I set up my rock like that. I'm kind of heating it up and keeping the heat in and stuff. And I put a log behind there. I'm drying some wood out there and stuff. I need to collect some more wood, but that's definitely enough for now to get some embers. I'm not scared of it dying anymore. But yeah, that's my general camp. This is pretty cool. I like it. So I need to collect some more firewood, and the amount of nettles I have is quite small. So I'll just spend a good amount of time try to fill up this bag. Try to find another stone, and I'll get going on a bit of a stove, rock stove. I've never done it how I plan on doing it. I've never done it like that before, so I've used a rock to boil water, but I just sat it near the fire. So I'll try something a little different today. This is where I'm going to be harvesting my nettles. So I'm going to go to town on that. There's a ton of them here. And yeah, have myself some dinner. I also have some spruce needles for some tea later on too. It's around 6 o'clock right now. Things are starting to wind down. Light's slowly going away. I'm starting to run out of battery on my cell phone and filling up with space and stuff. So this will probably be the second to last video that I do. I'll just show you that I just gathered some firewood for tonight. That log that I had at the back, I put it over here and put it out because I'll throw it on at nighttime, and that keeps a really good ember that will burn all night. And it makes it easy for starting a fire in the morning and stuff. And I'm going to be out here in the morning pretty early, so you guys probably won't get to see that. My cell phone's telling me I'm dying right now, so I have a little bit of wood here. I'll show you a bit of my camp. There's my cook setup right now. You got those embers in there. And I'm cooking my nettles up here. They're starting to steam pretty good. This rock thing works okay. It's hot. Let's say that. Tonight I'll make a bit of spruce needle tea as well. I found that on the way in. Got my mug and stuff there. I got that much water left. And the other bottle. It's just up on my backpack right in there. And that's kind of, I just hung my backpack and my sweatshirt. My axe is in the tree right there. And yeah, this is a pretty awesome little shelter camp that I made. And I think it'll be nice sleep tonight. I'll probably just lie down right there. Maybe put the sweatshirt down, lie on top of it. But it's not going to be cold. And I got a decent amount of wood. I probably won't even have a big fire. I might just let it ember. So that's more than enough to ember. I'm just cooking on it right now, so yeah. Alright guys, I wanted to show you how those nettles are doing. And they are boiling quite nicely. So, it smells like a pot of spinach. That's pretty cool. So that kind of rock oven setup, it did work. Might not be the fastest, but it definitely worked. So I'm gonna chow down on that, and I'm running really low on battery, so I'm gonna get this video in, and then I'll try to get the spruce tea, and I'll try to get some nighttime stuff, but I don't know if I'll be able to. But this is my dinner, so yeah. So my spruce tea is about ready. After I got this rock stove, whatever you want to call it, going, the tea boiled really quickly. I mean, it's I just been kind of feeding small things in there, and it works as an oven, I guess. And I kind of put it on this edge over here and kind of let the flames lick it a bit. And it's a little thinner on this edge too, so it's been boiling better. And I'll show you. Pull this back. We've got a good boil in there. You're only able to do this if you happen to find a rock like this. I just got lucky. So try to pour my tea while filming. This tea is not only is it a nice warm drink to have, but it's got some vitamin C and stuff, so you don't really need to bring fruit out here or anything. 1 second. You don't really need to bring fruit out here or anything. You can kind of, as long as you can boil water and stuff. I mean, you can chew that too, and swallow that as well. And it tastes good. I like it. It's quite simple, easy to do. So yeah, I finished off. I ate all those nettles, and it wasn't too bad. It was something. Still hungry, but you know, you don't bring any food, you're gonna be hungry. Unless you manage to like kill a deer or something. But I really appreciate you guys watching this video, and I hope you guys learned some cool things, because I certainly learned some cool things coming out here and just seeing what I could do. You know, you watch all these videos online, and these guys, like, they show you their kit, they go around, they like baton some wood, they do this, they do that, but like a lot of them you don't actually get a video of them legitimately going outside and doing something, you know. It's a lot of, I understand it's a lot of learning, but you know, I would like to see more of that. More people actually going out and spending a night in the woods instead of just talking about it. And you know, it's fun. I enjoy doing this stuff. And kind of, yeah, you get a sense of freedom out here, and I don't know, something about sitting in front of a fire, watching the embers and stuff, that's really primal. You know, like it's coded in our DNA or something to be outdoors and enjoying nature, you know. Thousands of years of evolution and all that. We spent most of it outdoors in the woods, not in cubicles on a desktop. So, whenever you guys get the chance, come out here. Enjoy it, you know. You get a real sense of peace. It's one of my favorite things to do, to relax. I almost forgot to show you guys my char cloth. I've actually never done this before. So, let's see how it worked. What you can do with YouTube videos. Okay. I don't know how I'm going to open this with you guys. There. That's pretty sweet. I mean, that worked pretty good. Wow. I accidentally hit stop, but kept playing. That looks like char cloth to me. I mean, I'm not going to try it out right now. Maybe I'll try it out at home and show you guys later, but that worked. So that might be something I might be doing in the future. And yeah, I just put that big rock, I put it up over there, kind of reflect the heat back. Just keeping this really low. This fire is super low. Just getting the embers going. Keep the embers going. The tea turned out really nice. It's super awesome to have. This was a pretty successful trip. All I gotta do is sleep through the night. Which is easier said than done. Because once it starts getting darker, things start getting creepier. And yeah, I find that as long as the fire is still going, I don't freak out too much. My fire, if I wake up and my fire is totally dead, then I get a little paranoid. Other than that, I've just been sitting here, lying down. This is officially my ground cover, my awesome mat. that I'll probably have to shake out again. And there's my little pillow. So I don't even know what to call this. Hillbilly bushcraft. It just shows you what you can do with a tiny little backpack, an axe, a knife, and yeah, I have 5% left on my cell phone, so I'm gonna turn you guys off. Hey guys, it's early morning, and I don't have very much space left on my phone, so I'll try to get this done quick. That was my fire. I put that punky log there. I didn't really use it. I just kind of leaned things up against it and kept it embering. It was pretty warm for the night. I heard a few loud crashes last night, and I think that was just some wood falling or something out of the trees, but it's a little spooky. I did go through the majority of my wood, as you can see, and this is how I look in the morning time after doing this. This experience was fun. I really enjoyed it, and I'll be doing a lot more of this stuff, and be trying to bring you guys along with me, and hopefully next time I won't be using a cell phone. Hopefully next time I'll have a decent camera that I could actually, like, you know, mount on a tripod and stuff, and let you guys in on more of the stuff that I do. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I got some water that I'll dump on that, and I'll just cover up real good in dirt. It is summertime, and you guys, you have to be careful with fires and stuff. Don't be unreliable. Don't be my brain's not working. Basically, don't be a douchebag and cause a forest fire. Deal with your fire properly. Cover it up with water if you got some. If you don't, bury it really well in dirt, and just watch and wait and make sure there's no smoke coming out of it, because especially these punky logs, they can burn forever, and you got to really make sure. I already scraped off some of it there just to get it on its way to being dead. Yep. So that's it for this episode. This is episode 1 of I don't even know. I don't even know what this series is called. But I'm going to be making more. So therefore it's episode 1. Alright, I'll catch you guys later.